What I'm about to do here is called modified contour line drawing. And with modified contour line drawing, before I actually start drawing, you use your pencil and you create just a path with your pencil. You're kind of like taking your dot out for a walk. I'm not drawing anything specifically here, but I'm just showing you the types of lines that you can get with modified contour line drawing. So the lines don't break up at all. If I want to get to another area, I'll just drag my pencil back to another area and continue drawing. Now, once again, this is not of any particular subject matter. I'll do that in a minute. But these kind of lines are what we're looking for. What we're not looking for are broken lines. We're not looking for lines that you go back and forth over and over on. And definitely don't outline. Don't do some, some crazy thing where you have, the Thanksgiving turkey going on where you just get this outline of a hand. It looks ridiculous and it looks flat. So getting to actual drawing here, I'm going to draw my hand here, and I'm going to look at my hand most of the time. And I'm going to be drawing here, once again, not lifting my pencil, not erasing, and not going back and forth. So I'll just pick a spot. You won't be able to tell where I'm drawing yet. If I want to get to the other side, if I had reason to, I just drag my pencil up here. So I'm going slow, not lifting my pencil, not going back and forth. And I'm using thick and thin lines here. So if I want to explore up here some more, I just bring my pencil back up here, come down. There's a fingernail in there, so I want to get that detail. You don't want to skip over things. You really want to explore the detail while you're in a particular area. So I think you can start to tell that's, representative of my index finger so far. I can come through and make some modifications. There's no making mistakes. They're simply coming back and putting the lines where you want them to be. As I'm getting down here in my index finger, it gets there's a little padded there, flush, where I'm going to make some thicker lines. And then I'm going to come down here and start exploring a different part of my hand where it would come down to the thumb. But before I get too far down in that direction, when you're up here and you are drawing, let's say, the other finger, and you want to figure out where that knuckle is for that second finger, and you start drawing and paying close attention, don't lift your pencil, paying close attention to where you are while you're making this drawing. Now, what I'm about to do with this second finger here is what we call drawing through. My finger is coming behind, my second finger is coming behind this index finger. So rather than starting here, stopping here, and then picking it up over here somewhere, I drag my pencil across to ensure a sense of continuity with the lines. That keeps it from looking disjointed. There's a fingernail in there. That's about as far as I'm going to go. I think you guys get the general idea with what I'm doing there. What I want to do now is show you some examples of this. First, what I have here is a drawing of hands I did some time ago. And you won't have to put all this shading in the background. I did a bunch of cross-hatching back there. I went through a whole cross-hatching period where I did a lot of dark and light with cross-hatching. But these hands are drawn. without lifting my pencil and just by exploring. If I didn't like something that I drew, I came back and drew it the way I wanted to. There was nothing forced about it. It was just this loose, organic style. I have big hands, medium hands, tiny hands, foreshortened hands, another foreshortened hand, hands in different positions. Sometimes I just have part of a hand coming in or a finger here. You could even put a big thumb coming in there if you wanted to. But this is, just a whole series of hands. And I'm drawing right on top of other hands here. So this one's on top of that one, creating more of a sense of 3-dimension. But sometimes I just drew right through behind another hand. So you can see here I carry this line right through for this forearm. So there's nothing wrong with that either. You can either overlap a previous hand, draw through, of course, or make it transparent like this. The one you're going to do will be more akin to this. This was a student drawing of a modified contour line drawing of hands. And the student did a nice job here. Let me straighten this out. And once again, the student did not lift their pencil. They put some pressure on their pencil, and then it was lighter pressure. Sometimes they held the side of their pencil. Especially, I'd like you to look here. When the student was drawing this forearm, and guys, carry your forearms somewhat from the hand so you don't have floating hands. But when this student was drawing this forearm to this ulna, the wrist bone, they wanted to get to the other side of the hand, so they just lightly dragged this line across to come through here and explore. Now what that does, it reinforces the 3-dimensional illusion of the hand by putting lines where there are no lines. Don't be afraid to put lines where there are none, because we're using line to tell a story. And if we just draw an outline or be very scared about drawing a line we don't actually see in our hand, it'll probably look more flat. So back to this. Let's review it once again. The student did not erase, used a fairly dark pencil. I used a B over there, but you can use a B, a 2B, a 4B, as long as you can see the hands and take a picture of them, we can see it. So they did not erase, they did not lift the pencil, and they went very slowly and focused on their hand, maybe 90% of the time. So any type of modified contour line drawing you do is done in this manner, but sometimes we'll actually lightly draw a form. We'll lightly draw a form, and then we'll come in and do the detail with modified contour line drawing. With this exercise, we're just putting hands all over the place. We're not drawing some structure of the hand first and then doing the modified contour line drawings. It's an exercise in looking. There are different types of contour line drawing. One of my favorites is blind contour line drawing, because with that, we're looking at our subject matter while we're drawing the whole time, and we're not looking at our paper, whether it's 5 minutes or an hour or what have you. And then when you finally see your finished drawing, you're like, wow, that looks weird, but at the same time it looks beautiful, because the line quality, the confidence in line is what line quality is. And the attention to detail is incredible, because all you drew was what you were looking at, whether it's something in your home or it's your hand or somebody's face. That's all you're looking at with blind contour line drawing. If everybody did blind contour line drawing for 1 hour, for 365 days, for 1 year, their ability to draw would be magnificent, because really observational drawing is learning how to see and then translate that information onto a flat surface, trying to convince the viewer they're seeing 3-dimensional forms. Thank you.